Heidi ho, my crafty friends. I hope you're doing well today. I got to thinking that with so many new subscribers, there may be a few of you that don't know how to, now I could be very wrong, that don't know how to decoupage onto paper with a liquid medium. So I thought I would show you real quick because I'm going to do it on another page. And if you do, that's fine. And if you don't, that's fine too. I wanted to show you. So I'm going to do it on this page. I really like that. Now I'm just using my matte medium and a brush. Maybe I'm going to use matte medium if I can get it open. There we go. I just dump it from my big one into the little one. Okay. Now let me grab my apron. To keep it off of my sweater here. Okay, so the main thing you want to remember is matte medium is a wet liquid. So once you get it down, you want to keep your fingers off of it because it will stick to your fingers. All right, I've got my apron on. Okay, so let's get the paper down. Now I think I have enough of this going this way. Now, here it is. I want this kind of right through the middle here. I don't necessarily need to have all that up there. And I'm going to be taking that off of there, but I want that torn edge. Now wait, I don't want that in the middle. And now there's nothing on this, so I can turn this either way I want. So even if I'm putting this upside down, it doesn't matter. But I don't want it on the fold. Right there's my fold. So I know you're looking at it upside down and you're saying, what in the world? All right, so there's my fold. There's what I want. Okay. Okay, so that tells me where my fold is going to be. All right, so when I do this, if I'm not going all the way to the top, I start on a side so that I know where I'm starting from. And I start as close to my fold as possible, and I work my way out. That way I know, and I keep my matte medium away from my hands because I will knock it over. And I put a nice coat. It's not a big bloopy coat. It's not a thin coat. And you'll see I'm holding this in place. And I'm holding it there because that tells me how far down I need to go, how far high I need to go. You know, it just kind of gives me placement. And then once I get it in place, okay, now's your time. You can make ruffles. You can make all the wrinkles you want. Just pat it down and then take your brush and go right over top of it. And now that's going to seal it into whatever medium you're using. You can use your matte medium. You can use your gel matte medium. You can use Mod Podge. They even have the paper Mod Podge if you want. You can use that. Whatever you're using, it doesn't matter. You just need to make sure that it's sealed. Okay? Now, if you're using tissue paper, regular tissue paper, you need to be really careful because regular tissue paper will tear, and it will tear very easily. Oops. Now, as I go down this way, the glue is going to add another layer of strength to my spine area. And that's good because I'm going to need it. And I'm going to go on and bring this over onto my spine area. And I'm going to let it wrinkle. And see, it's already started drying, so that tells me I don't have enough in here. Up here. And if it wrinkles, I don't mind. I like the wrinkles. I even like wrinkles when I do my tissue paper application. Not all the time. Depends on what I'm using. But some of the time I do. Now, I'm not rubbing. I'm just patting. I'm going like this. Okay. Now I'm going to go all the way across from my spine over. And now this has to sit. This will sit for the rest of the day and probably until tomorrow. So this page has to dry. Once this page dries, I can come back and do anything I want. I can ink it. I can watercolor on it. Now, you'll notice I'm coming all the way across the top and over my edges, top and bottom, to make sure that they're sealed. And I'm going to do the same over here because I need to make sure that those edges are sealed. Now, if by chance I do miss someplace, and it's been known to happen. See, I'm already starting to stick. Then I can come back and put a little bit of art glitter glue or something like that in there and glue it down. Now, if you have something sticking over, now see, I didn't get enough. You can see it pooching right here. See that little pooch? I didn't get enough glue under there. Right here, I didn't get a glue under the bottom. Right here, I didn't get enough glue under here. And it's saying you're trying to glue me down and there's nothing to glue me to. There. So when your tissue paper does that, that's the reason. He's saying, I don't have anything to glue to, and you're trying to glue me down. There we go. And all you're doing is soaking my top layer of paper. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this piece of paper back on my other table to dry. Leave this alone. Don't try and tear it now because you'll just tear everything. Okay. There we go. Now that's behind me drying. Go on and put your top on here, unless you're going to do another page. Now, I did think about doing another page. I was thinking about doing one of those decorative pages. That didn't come out very well, did it? And I was thinking about looking to see. I need to wipe this up first because I am going to stick to everything. There it is. It's hiding from me. Let's get that wiped up. So let's see what that looks like on here. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I know it might be a little too much though, because that page has already got so much on it. What about the, oh, that page has even got stuff on it too. But what about a page that looks like that? You know, that page. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that page. Okay, now, since it has something back there, we're going to have to be careful because I don't want to ruin that. So I'm going to do that side first. Okay, now I'm just being gentle when I'm putting it on there. I still have to make sure I put enough there, but I don't want it to leak around the other side onto the little flip that we did. Okay, so let's bring this around. There we go. Now this will dry just like the other one. Now I will trim this one before I put it over there to dry because it's just too big. And I'll trim it before I put its second layer on it. Now, can you see the ink that's running on here? Can you see the ink in my matte medium? That's because I don't have a laser printer. So it's going to give this some really cool color effects. And I'm making sure I come all the way to the edge. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just cutting it down so I can put my second coat on top of it. Now, you can find old patterns in secondhand stores. If you have a Joann's anywhere near you, they're clearancing them out right now. I think they're 25 and 30% off the marked price. And they'll be going down even more. I usually buy mine at secondhand stores. I had a bazillion of them. And I got rid of them when I redid my craft room last year. Silly girl. But I did. Because I had nowhere to keep them all. And I had like 60 patterns that I hadn't touched in years. Okay, so you can see the difference here. This is wet, this is dry. So I need to pick this up and stick some glue in there. There. Okay, so now I'm going to go this way over the top. Now, this will be a good one when we get to it, that I can maybe tear an edge of paper. I can add lace. I actually, and I'm going to show you here in a minute, what I did. Remember those little blue jeans I showed you? I want to show you what I've started on them. And that was how I got started on showing you guys this. I thought, oh, I want to show them because that's where those little blue jeans are going to go. On a piece of this paper that we are creating. Okay, so now this also has to go over there to dry. Now, so it dries flat, I am going to pull our little button card out like this. I'm just going to pull it out and let this dry flat. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, let's put the top on this. Now, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to rinse my brush. If you don't rinse your brush, this will dry hard. And the only thing my brush will be good for is the trash can. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. And here are those little blue jeans. Now, if you'll remember, they were a little little people blue jeans. And what I did was I cut underneath. Here, let me show you what I did here. So this is the front of the pant, and here's the little pocket. So if you can imagine a little tiny hand going in there, probably sticking a little car or something like that. That's what my son would have done. He'd have stuck a little race car in there. And I cut down right below where the pocket sits. Okay? Right below where the pocket sits. And in the top is this white piece of elastic. It's a really thick piece of elastic. So I took my seam ripper, and here at the bottom, I pulled off that gold thread. Okay? That gold thread allowed this seam to come up. Okay? It just allowed this seam to open. Then I had to take out that elastic right there because it's still attached by that white thread down here at the bottom. It's a white basting thread right down here at the bottom. That's what attaches your elastic to the band of your pants. So, but it was easily taken out also because it had been cut. So, but you have to take out this gold thread first. So once I got the elastic out, it now looks like this. Okay? It's got some little threads I still need to clean off, but I think it looks almost like a little purse or a little skirt. And I thought we would pick a page, and then I got out a couple of things that look like these little doilies, a little handkerchief that I've already used a piece off of, and then I was playing around with this little crochet thing, and I cut off a couple of these, you know, to make it look like a little flower. And I have a couple of these, and I thought, oh, I really like that lace trim to put across the bottom of it, you know, so it would look like that across the bottom. And I can just sew this flat. I don't want to cut it. I could just sew that flat like that. I could take my sewing machine or just hand sew it and just sew straight through those. I like the look of the way that denim has worn. And I thought I like that ruffle down there. And maybe something like that. And then build on that. And I have from a different one, I have these little flowers. And I thought, maybe something like that in it. But I also have a purple one that has the gold in it. And I thought, is that one too big? Maybe put the small ones up here around the pocket. Like that. You know, something like that. And then put the lace. So I'm going to play around with it and see kind of what I like. Like I have 3 of them, so I could put like that. But I want this little tag. You know, I want to be able to get a hold of that little tag. Maybe go like that. See, and I can never tell which is the front. They go like that because they're pansies. So this little fat piece would come down. Maybe have the purple come down. And I don't want to glue them. I'll take some thread and I'll sew through the center so that they come down. Oh, I kind of like that. Or maybe put a button in the middle of them. Let's see, I have little white buttons that we could put in the middle of them to kind of, you know, bring them all together. Let's get the little white buttons and see if we like that. Okay, here are the little buttons. Let's see if we like the little buttons. Do we like the little buttons or do we like it open? I kind of like it open, I think. Because then you can see the color. You know, the color that's inside of it. You know, this, that color that's in there, you can see that color of thread that's in there. And if you put the buttons in, yeah, if you put buttons in it, you lose the color. And you really can't see it. So I'm thinking maybe no buttons. But I do like this on the trim on the bottom. So maybe that trim or maybe a different trim. Let's see what kind of trim would go with them. Oh, what about this with the little flowers? Whoops, sorry. What about the little green trim? Let's see. Oh, I kind of like that. That's cute. Oh, here's some little fabric that matches them. I could make this into a little ruffle. And then add some green trim to the top of it. Let's see about our little ruffle here. Now it's too big. So, I mean, you know, it's too wide. But maybe now I do like that. So maybe I'll make something like that and then add the green on top of it. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'll tear this in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I'm doing is I'm counting. There are little polka dots on this. And this is the same color combination as this flower. So I wanted to make sure I got it kind of right in the middle. Get off of there. So I'll make this into a little ruffle of some sort to go across the bottom. And then I'll add these little daisies, maybe in the middle. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then we'll add this to a page. And we'll use this little pocket as a pocket. See, like that. Okay, I think that's what we'll do. Now, to make a ruffle, okay, we're at 20 minutes. I can show you, good, because I wanted to show you. You need to take your thread, and I'm just going to use off-white thread, and okay, here's a little tab I made today. It's not quite dry yet. And you need a needle, any needle that your thread will fit through, and that will work with your fabric. So we're going to use this needle right here. Okay. Okay, now the best way to do this, and I'm sure that there are other people out there that, you know, have different ways, is you want thread your needle and you want your thread to be twice as long as the length of your fabric. Okay, now I double up the strength of my thread. Now my thread here is just all-purpose thread. So I'm gonna get off of there. And the reason I double the length of my thread is, I will show you. Maybe if I can get it off my fingers. Okay. I think I had glue on my scissors again. Okay. Then once you double up your thread. Hold on here. Let's get this glue off of my fingers so it quits catching things. Let's get that off of there. Tie a knot in the end of your thread. Just any old knot. It doesn't have to be a particular knot. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything major. Just a knot. You want a knot that's going to stay in your fabric. Okay? And I'm not a knot queen. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 times to get a knot that'll stay in my fabric. But you want the knot to stay in your fabric once you get started. I'm trying to get this glue off my fingers so you all don't have to look at it. Okay. Okay. Here's my thread. Then you take the end of your fabric and you fold over just a little piece. Just a little, like 1/8 of an inch. Okay? And then you take your needle and you poke it through. Now you're going to test your knot. Is it going to hold? Okay, mine's holding. And then you bring it back. Like I said, this is the way I do it. Now I've anchored my knot. I just went around my knot. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to leave a little bit up here at the top so that it stands up. Oops, I did it the wrong way. Oh well, it'll work. And then you go, now since I have polka dots, I'm going to follow my polka dots. You go down, up, down, up, down, up, all the way across. Okay? And you're just going to gather that thread all the way like that. And you're just going to keep going all the way to the end. Okay? Down, up, down, up. Now, my spacing is maybe 1/8 of an inch. And your spacing is going to depend on how big of a ruffle you want. Okay? If you want a little teeny tiny ruffle, whether you want a great big ruffle, you know, and by ruffle, I mean the spacing between here is your ruffle. So it depends on how big you want it. So if you wanted a great big ruffle, like say something for clothes, then you would make that spacing there bigger. Now, see how that didn't come through? Don't panic. Just grab your threads. Don't pull tight, but grab your threads. See, there it is. It got caught on a thread from the fabric. Come up here to the end of your needle. Get a hold of your threads. And now's the time to make sure all your threads are even. Okay? There. Now it's all through. Now you're going to continue with the down up. And that's going to happen. So don't let that throw you. Unless you've seamed your fabric across the top And across the bottom, you're going to continually get a hold of those little raggedy threads all the time. So don't let that, you know, get your panties in a twist and have you throwing it down and running away from it. Okay, to the end, I'm not going to tie a knot. I'm just coming out at the end and I'm pulling it out. I'm just pulling it out. Now, I'm going to come down to my jeans, to my jean pocket. I'm down at the bottom. And I'm going to lay this edge here. And I'm going to take these and I'm just going to start pulling. And then I can start spacing. How big do I want this? Okay, so I can start pulling it out. Do I need more on top of this? I know I need to stop there. Do I need to go back and do more? Let's spread this out. Yeah, see, I knew this wasn't going to be a lot because my fabric wasn't very long. Now, if it's not as ruffly as you want, remember that other piece I cut off? I can come back and I can do more. So if I want this to be really ruffly, say like, if I want it to be more like this, come on, get over there. If I want it to be more like this, I can take that other piece of fabric that I've cut and I can just keep going. So that's what I'm going to do. So to keep going, now it's going to get thinner. I just have to remember that. I fold that edge under. Okay. I stick my needle in. And I go down and up, down and up. Now, this is not the way you make a ruffle for clothing, for curtains. It's roughly the way, but if you're making something for those items, you have to do a lot of seaming. You would seam here, you would seam there, but we're not doing that. We're making it for our journal. So I don't need to worry about proper seams, and I don't need to worry about other things like that. I'm just doing the basics, okay? But you'll know the basics. You'll know the basics of it, okay? So you can make a basic ruffle. And if you're interested in learning more about it, then you can explore more. And you can say, oh yeah, this sewing business, I like this. Let me show me more. And there are people on YouTube that can show you more in more depth. But that's not what my channel is about. Okay, so let's space this out. And let's see how much more I want to add. Okay, let's gather this piece. Okay, a little bit more. See, now you know why I make my thread so long. And you just continue doing your up and down and up and down. Oops, a doodles. Okay, and then you also continue checking your length. So you continue checking your length to see, am I at the length that I want? Am I where I want to stop? And if you're not sure, pick up your thread and lay it down. Okay, I'm almost there. So I probably need to go about out here. And remember, my fabric is getting thinner. So my ruffle's going to be getting a little bit thinner on the end. But I don't mind. Like I said, I'm not making it for curtains or a dress or anything, you know, that I'm making it for my journal. And I know how to make it for those other items, so I'm not worried about it. I just want you to know the basics. These are about as basic as you can get. Okay. So let's see here. Here to here to here. Now let's gather this end. Okay, I'm getting a little too tight over here. Okay, right there's where I want. Now, once you've reached your end, you know you're done. Okay, you pull the last of your ruffle in, you take your needle, you take it back through the last maybe one or two of your little pleats right here. Take it through. And then I take it through to the back. Oops. Hold on, let me cut this extra fabric off here. I take it through to the back. And then you're going to tie your needle, your thread off here in the back. Now, you don't want the threads of the okay, come here, I need you. Now you want to make sure that that needle's good and taut, because as soon as I cut that thread, if it's not, then everything I just did is going to come undone. And I got to do it all over again. Okay, let me get a hold of that one. Okay, let's see which thread is sticking up there. I think it's this one. No, must not be. Must be this one. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put my needle on my needle plate. And I'm going to put this over here. Now I've already got it stretched to where I want it. Now from here you can either sew it down, you can glue it down, you can do whatever you choose to do. Now what I like to do is I like to do it all as one unit. So I'm going to attach this first, then I'll attach everything down at one time. So to do this, I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to put it right across my stitch line, right there. All the way across. Just like that. And since it's wiggly, I might actually attach it onto my jeans first. Now, before I do any of that, I need to make sure that it's not too long for my page. Let's find a page here. I wanted to put it in here. Let's make sure it's not too long. Okay, it's not. I want it right here. Right there's the fold. Okay. Okay, so let's grab our pins here. All right, hold on just a second. I'll show you how to do this. Okay, so I've got it pinned in. So now, completely up to you. You can either hand stitch it. You can glue it. If you're going to glue it, you need to use Fabri-Tac. That's about the only glue that's going to hold this fabric to denim, because denim is a very thick fabric. If you're not using denim, if you're using a different fabric, then you can try some other glues. If I were gluing, I would use Fabri-Tac. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to sew my little ribbon in the same spot. And it's going to go just like this. Then I'm going to do the same thing with these. And right here in the center, let me show you where I'm going to. Right here. See where those all come together? Right there in the center. Right there. And right there. I'm going to stitch right between those center points to hold it down into the pocket. Now, if you look on the back, I can lift my pocket up. So I'm going to actually sew it into the denim. So I'm going to place them like this so that they're away from this part. They're not in the pocket. They're away from the pocket. Okay? So there'll be one there. There'll be one down here, and then probably the other one up there. Like that. But then the pocket will still be free that I can use it. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. So it's going to go like this. Okay, so let's go on and cut this off so you can get a better idea. So that's going to sit like that. And then the whole thing is going to sit on that page, just like that. And then as far as the pocket goes, I'll have use of my pocket right there. Let's get those out from under there. Okay? So that's what we've created today. Just like that. Okay? There. I hope you guys had fun today, and I hope that you also create a pocket out of fabric of some sort. And if you do, don't forget, you can post it by using hashtag sewing journal, hashtag ladybug journals, so that I can see it, because I love, 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 love seeing your work. And if you also have a YouTube channel, don't forget, you can join in, and you can share it on your channels. And if you do, use the hashtag Ladybug Journals, and that way it'll all be linked together and we can see it. So I want to thank you all. I think we're out of time. Yes, we most certainly are. So I will get this finished and I will show it to you in the next video so that you can see how it turned out. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today. And I want to welcome all of our new subscribers and say a great big Heidi ho to all of our current subscribers. And thank everybody for joining me and having some fun. And I hope you have a great week. And until I see you again in our next video, ta-ta for now.